Alrighty, y'all. So this will be our test one review. All right, so the review actually has 25 questions, and we put 20 of them on the actual test, but it will come out of these 25, okay? So number one wants me to convert 17 miles into yards. And then they tell you there are 1,760 yards in a mile. Okay, so you want to keep up with your conversion factors and all of those. Some of them will actually tell you the conversions, and then some of them you have to have your sheets with you, okay? All right, letting one in real quick. And also I'm starting with 17 miles. Oh, we're turning that into yards. So they told me right here there's 1,760 yards in a mile. So for every 1 mile, that is 1,760 yards. So notice my miles cancel. So to finish this out, I'm just going to multiply 17 times 1,760. And y'all, that gives me 29,920 yards. Hey, y'all, so that's the trick on that one. Just use that conversion they're giving you. All right, y'all, let me see what we got next. I'm gonna do this conversion. I'll come back to number two. This one wants me to convert 15 pounds into ounces. And it tells you there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. All right, so once again, another one, they're giving me 15 pounds. They want me to turn this to ounces. They're giving us the conversion right here. So y'all, we start with 15 pounds. And for every 1 pound, we got 16 ounces. So 1 pound is 16 ounces. All right, so notice the pounds are going to cancel, and I'm going to be left with ounces like they want. So y'all on this one, all we do is multiply the 15 times 16, and that gives us 240 ounces. All right, y'all, so questions on these yet? All right, so I'm looking up one thing real quick, y'all. Hang on with me just one second. I got you, Kenesha. All right, y'all, let me write this next one down. I'm actually gonna go by what they got on this one says the population of a small country is 2,674,000, and they want me to write in scientific notation. Where'd my screen go? All right, so they want me to write this in scientific notation, okay? So we got 2,674,000. Now, to write in scientific notation, we got to move these decimals. So when you don't see a decimal on the number, you assume it is at the very end, okay? Now, to write in scientific notation, you got to move this decimal left until you get behind the first non-zero number, okay? So look here, that's once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. So we put the decimal behind the 2. So that's going to give us 2.674. Now we don't have to write all these zeros since they're after the 4. And then we put times 10. Because remember, we're moving by powers of 10. So now the exponent equals the number of times I had to move left. So I moved it 6 times to get it behind that 2. So my exponent is a 6. Now, if you move the decimal left, then the exponent's positive. Okay. Now, if I move the exponent right, then the exponent would be negative, okay? So I'm sure we'll see some of them coming up. So the first one, 2.674 times 10 to the 6. All right, y'all, let me see what's next. All right, y'all, so this one says, if proposition Q fails, your children won't have good schools. So we're identifying the fallacy. So is it A, the version, B, appeal to ignorance, C, appeal to emotion, or D, hasty generalization? All right, y'all. So we just want to know which fallacy is this. If proposition Q fails, your children won't have good skills. So since they're talking about your children and they're hoping that you love your children, they're hoping that you want proposition Q to pass. because you do love your children and you want them to have good schools. So when they start appealing to stuff like that, they are appealing to your emotions, okay? All right, let's look at the next one. So on this one, they want us to use a chain of conversions with familiar measures of time to convert 8 weeks into seconds. So we're going to basically convert 8 weeks into seconds. Okay. So we're starting with 8 weeks. And when we get done, we want this to be in seconds. So the first thing I'll probably do is turn weeks into days. Right? I know 1 week is 7 days. So that's going to cancel our weeks out. So now we got days. Well, y'all, we can turn days into hours because we got to get it down to seconds, remember? So for every 1 day, we know that that is 24 hours. So notice the days now cancel, but we're in hours. So the next conversion I would do is for every 1 hour, there is 60 minutes. So for every 1 hour, we have 60 minutes. So y'all, now the hours are canceling. And y'all, looks like I need one more conversion. I can now go from minutes to seconds because for every 1 minute, there is 60 seconds. So notice my minutes will now cancel. I'm left with seconds like I needed. And y'all, looks like everything's getting multiplied on top on this one. So let's see what we got. We got 8 times 7 times 24 times 60 times 60. Punching all that in. Woo, y'all, we get, looks like 4,838,400. And guess what? That is now in seconds. Okay, so that's the trick. Use those conversions, and get these converted over. All right, y'all, so let me move this down a little bit. All right, y'all, so my next one here. Identify the fallacy again, like this one up here. So this one says you should brush your teeth. So you should brush your teeth every day because brushing your teeth is very important. So they're giving us A, hasty generalization. B, circular reasoning. C is a false cause. And D is a diversion. All right, y'all. So let's see what we get. So this says you should brush your teeth every day because brushing your teeth is very important. Well, those are basically saying the same thing. You should brush your teeth every day, and brushing your teeth is very important. So since they're sort of saying the same thing, what they're using on this one is what we call circular reasoning, okay? Hey, also, questions on those ones yet? All righty, so let me get my paper fixed. Hey, y'all, so the next one. Identify the fallacy again. Each of my mother's 3 dogs has fleas. Therefore, all dogs have fleas. All right, y'all. So A on this one is a straw man. B is a hasty generalization. C would be circular reasoning. And then D is the false cause. All righty. So each of my mother's 3 dogs has fleas. Therefore, all dogs have fleas. So, is it true that all dogs have fleas just because someone's mother's dogs have fleas? So when they do that, when they assume something because of another, they're doing what we call a hasty generalization. So that would be a B on that one, okay? Oh, y'all, let me see who just came in.
I just came in.
Oh,
I'm
I got
David
you.
Story.
Yeah, I got you, David. I had one come in after you. Let me see.
I came in, Mr. Rath.
I got you, Kanisha. Okay, I think it's Amity Wilson. Okay, I got you. All right, I got all y'all now. So there we go. All right, y'all, let's see what's next. So remember, these are questions that are on your review for test 1, okay? All right, y'all, let me see. This next one wants to convert -20 degrees Celsius into Fahrenheit. All right, so they want me to convert -20 degrees Celsius into Fahrenheit temperatures, okay? All right, let me see the chat. Oh yeah, Pamela, I got yours. And then I seen you was here. Um, so y'all, the quizzes do count like 10% of y'all's grade, okay? So yeah, y'all do want to do the quizzes. All righty, y'all. So on this one, we got a formula that says Fahrenheit equals 9/5 times Celsius plus 32. So if we know the Celsius temperature, we plug that in, work our formula, and that'll give us our Fahrenheit. So we're going to plug in. Now, if you don't want to use 9/5, you can use 1.8 at that point, okay? If you want to do decimal stuff, okay? So I would put in my 9/5 times my Celsius, which is -20, and then plus my 32. You know, these ain't bad on your calculator, so let me share my calculator real quick. And y'all just gonna plug it in, 9 divided by 5. And then in parentheses, I had my -20, close parentheses, and then plus 32. Once we hit enter, we will have our Fahrenheit temperature of -4 degrees. Okay? So yeah, just plug that in and be done with it. Oh, y'all, let me write this one down. All right, they want me to round this one 2 decimal places like money. So a stockbroker sold 25 shares of stock for 26.57 each. So they want to know what was the total amount of the sale. All right, and then they also tell us round this one 2 decimal places. All right, so what I do, we sold 25 shares, so we got 25 shares of stock. Now I know over here they sold for 26.57 for each share. So for each share, so one share sold for 26.57. So since I'm looking for the total price, notice how the shares cancel out and I'm left with my money values. So y'all basically on that, we're just going to take 25 times 26.57. That's going to give us 664.25. So that we didn't even have to round, it ended up as 2 decimal places, okay? So the number of shares times the price of the shares gives us the total amount. All right, y'all, let's see what's next. All right, this one says convert a weight of 11 pounds into ounces. And then once again, they're telling us there's 16 ounces in 1 pound. Okay, so let's see how to pick 5 and then Elmi. Okay, yeah. All right, so we're going to convert 11 pounds into ounces. Now they're telling us there's 16 ounces again in 1 pound. Okay. So we're starting with our 11 pounds. Okay, so we're starting with 11 pounds. We want to turn this into ounces. So here we know for every 1 pound, there's 16 ounces. So 1 pound goes down here so that those will cancel. And then that was what? 16 ounces. So y'all notice the pounds cancel. So basically all we got to do is multiply 11 times 16. And that's going to give us 176. And the only units we got left are the ounces. Hey, also, that's a trick on them, just seeing what they want you to convert them to and then using your conversions. All right, y'all, let me get my camera moved back up here. So y'all, this next one, they want to know if this statement makes sense or not. In the next hour, roughly 10 to the 9 people, so 10 to the 9th people will die worldwide. So y'all, what do y'all think about this? Would y'all put yes or no on that? Is it possible for 10 to the 9th people to die worldwide in the next hour?
No, that's not possible.
No, good job. Y'all, because 10 to the 9th, if you think about it, that's a 1 with 9 zeros after it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So y'all, that's hundreds, thousands, millions. So they're saying 1 billion people are going to die worldwide. That's not happening because we only got what, probably 8 or 9 billion in the world altogether anyway. Okay. So that's what they're doing on those kind of questions, just seeing what you think. Are they possible or not? So good job on that. All right, let's see on this one. Here's one of them fallacies again. So when confronted with questions from the press, about alleged scandals a congressman replies, that the allegations against him should be ignored since his accuser is part of a vast right-wing conspiracy. All right, so our choices are going to be A, appeal to a popularity. B, circular reasoning. C, personal attack. And that's the one they called ad hominem. And then D, limited choice. So let's see what my chat says on that. And you're saying C, so y'all going with personal attack. Yeah, basically, because he's attacking the other um congressman or other what do you call it candidate, and telling them that they're a vast wing conspiracy. So they're attacking them. So definitely a personal attack. Good job. All right, y'all next. All right, I'm gonna skip that. And that's another one we did with the temperature already. So let me go to 13. Oh, so woo, here's a good one. Do the following operations. Be sure to express answers in scientific notation. And then they want one decimal place like when you do your answers, okay? So for A, they want us to do 2 times 10 to the 4th times 2 times 10 to the 8th. B, they want us to do 8 times 10 to the 5th plus 4 times 10 to the 4th. And then C, they want us to do 9 times 10 to the 14th divided by 3 times 10 to the 9th. So y'all, the trick on these is let's see what we starting out with addition. I mean, we got multiplication first. So then y'all do have calculators. So I'll show you how I would punch these on the calculator, and then I'll show you what's happening by hand, okay? So let me share my calculator. So y'all want to clear this screen. So let me put my numbers in parentheses like they do. So the first one I had 2 times 10 to the 4th. So y'all watch what I do. I'm going to hit the 2. Now, in place of the times 10 to the 4th, do you see the comma above the 7? And right above that comma, you see a blue EE. This is sort of my scientific notation. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit the second comma, and I'm going to put in my 4. So that E stands for times 10, okay? So this is really 2 times 10 to the 4th. Now we're going to multiply this by the second parentheses, which was 2 times 10 to the 8th. So to punch that in, I hit 2. And then I want to hit the blue second and the comma for the EE. And then that exponent was 8 and close parentheses. Okay, so that E, like I said, takes place of that times 10. So you're just basically writing the number and then the exponent on these. Now when we hit enter, I get 4. And in place of the E, we would put times 10 to the 12th, okay? Now, if you was to do this by hand, you multiply the number. 2 times 2 gives me 4. Then I would put my times 10. So, when you multiply, we add exponents. And y'all, that's how they got that 12. They added 4 plus 8. And that gave me my exponent of 12, okay? Now, the next one, we're going to add this one. So let me share that screen. I'm going to clear that out. So I had 8 times 10 to the 5th. So parentheses, 8, second, comma, and that one had an exponent of 5, close parentheses, and then it was plus, open parentheses, 4, second, comma, that's the times 10, and then this one had an exponent of 4. Close parentheses, and hit enter. So notice that gave me 840,000. So let me write that down. But y'all, the thing on this, they want me to express my answers in scientific notation. So when the calculator does this, we're going to have to write it in scientific notation. So remember, the decimal's at the end at the moment. You'll move it left once, twice, 3, 4, 5. So that'll give me 8.4 times 10. Now remember, I moved the decimal left, the exponent is positive. So that would give me 10 to the 5th. All right, so let me show you how to do this one by hand. So we got 8 times 10 to the 5th. We're going to add that to 4 times 10 to the 4th. So y'all, tell you what I need to do on this one. I need to get the exponents to match. Okay, I need both of these. When you got a higher exponent, I need to turn this number so that it has an exponent that matches this exponent. So I'm going to bring down my 8 times 10 to the 5th. Now y'all, over here we got 4 times 10 to the 4th. Remember, at the moment, that exponent would be behind that 4. But if I want this exponent to turn into a 5, which way would I move that decimal? Would I move it left to make that a 5? Or would I move that to the right to make that a 5? So which way did I add the exponents? Was it left or was it to the right? Well, y'all look at this one above it, where I had the 8.4 times 10 to the 5. See how that's a positive 5? Because I moved the exponent left. So if I want to turn this 4 times 10 to the 4th into something to the 5th power, I would take this decimal and move it left one place so that I get a 0.4 times 10 to the 5th. I can change them into the same exponent by moving these decimals, okay? So you got a 8 times 10 to the 5th. We're going to add that to a 0.4 times 10 to the 5th. Well, if you're adding these, 8 added to 0.4 would give me 8.4 times 10. And since these are like exponents now, they stay 10 to the 5th. So look, same answer they got there. But remember, if you're doing it by hand, you got to convert them so that they look like. Exponents got to be the same before you can add them, okay? Now, y'all, this last one is dividing. It's not too bad. You would take the 9 divided by 3. So 9 divided by 3 would give me 3 times 10. So when you multiply it, if you added exponents, when you divide, you subtract exponents. And y'all, 14 minus 9 would give me a 5. Okay, so I'll show you that on the calculator also. All right, so we had 9 times 10 to the 14th. So 9 second comma 14. Close those parentheses, divided by the next parentheses, which was 3 times 10 to the 9th. All right, y'all, so watch this. When we hit enter, we get 300,000. But y'all, if you write that 300,000 as scientific notation, well, let me get my 300,000 written down real quick. So notice, here's my 300,000. I would move the decimal left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that I get 3 times 10 to the 5th. No, either way, the hardest operation to me is the adding, because they got to match up as exponents before you can actually add them or subtract them. Look, multiplying, I just multiplied the numbers, added exponents. Dividing, I divided the numbers, subtracted exponents, okay? So that's the difference on those is whether I'm adding exponents or subtracting, and then make sure that your final answers, you put them into scientific notation. All right, y'all, let's see what's next. All righty, so this one says a commuter train, so a train travels 53 kilometers in 35 minutes. What is the speed in kilometers per hour? Okay, so here's what we know. It does 53 kilometers, and I'm just going to call that km, in 35 minutes. So that'd be 35 minutes on the bottom. So 53 kilometers per 35 minutes. Now, they want it to end up as kilometers per hour. So we don't have to change the kilometers. We need to keep that. What we need to do is turn these minutes into hours so that our hours are on the bottom, okay? Because remember, per means you're sort of dividing. That's why it goes to the bottom. So if I'm gonna cancel out minutes, we know the conversion is there 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So y'all notice my minutes cancel and I'm left with kilometers per hour. All right, y'all. So the only thing to do to that, multiply the top, then divide by the bottom. So we got 53 times 60. And then we divide that answer by 35. And y'all, let me see how they wanted this one rounded off. They want us to round it to the nearest tenth. So let's see. I ended up with 90. So let me write this out. 90.857. We know it's now kilometers per hour. But they wanted me to round it to the nearest tenth. Remember, the nearest tenth is the first digit after the decimal. All right, so let me see what chat's saying. So I'm gonna go with that 90.9. Good job. Well, y'all, that 8 rounded up to a 9 because of that 5 after it, okay? And then you would choose the kilometers per hour. So y'all look, this test got a little bit of everything on it, okay? All right, now this one says convert the measurement to the unit specified, round it to the nearest tenth. So this one has 93 kilometers per hour to miles per hour. All righty, so on this one, they're not giving you the conversion, but we do need to convert because we're still going to be in hours. We need to see how many kilometers is in a mile. So let's see. On our conversion sheets, I'm going with this sheet right here. Let's see, I got miles, yards, and feet. I got kilometers there. Ooh, that looks like the only one I'm using, y'all. So let's see. All right, so what am I converting from kilometers to miles? Ooh, I'm trying to think which way I would go on that, y'all. So it looks like I can do 1 mile into feet and then change my feet into kilometers using that conversion, okay? Well, I think that's what I'm going to do on that. So let me start out with 93 kilometers per hour. Now we're not having to change the hours. We just got to change from the kilometers to the miles, okay? So some of these you got to use a couple conversions to get there. All right, y'all. So I'm going to use the one that says 1.852 kilometers is equal roughly to 6,000 76.1 feet. Now, what that did, that canceled out my kilometers, and I'm now in feet per hour. But remember, they want miles per hour. So I'm going to convert from feet to miles because I had a conversion that said there were 5,280 feet per 1 mile. So y'all look, the feet cancel. Now I'm left with miles per hour. So we multiply the stuff on top. So we would do 93 times 6,076.1. When we get that answer, and then we're dividing by 1.852 and dividing by 5,280. Now, y'all, let me see how much they want to round this one. So we would round this to the nearest tenth. So on that one, I was getting 57.787. Now remember, that'll be miles per hour. So the nearest tenth, once again, will be where R7 is. So y'all, that'll give me what? 57 point. Well, that 8's going to make that turn into a 8. And then miles per hour. Okay. Oh, y'all, this one says convert 13 miles into yards. Now, this one actually says there are 1,760 yards in a mile. All right, so what are we starting with? 13 miles. All right, here's my conversion. For every 1 mile, so for every 1 mile, there is 1,760 yards. So y'all looking at the miles cancel. We're left with yards like they wanted to. So all you're going to do on that one is multiply 13 times 1760. And y'all, let's see, that looks like 22,880. And that is now in yards. Okay. All right, y'all, this one we're going to write in scientific notation. They're giving you 570,000. Now, when you got a number that's bigger than 1, that means you're going to have positive exponents on this. So remember, the decimal is at the end. I need to move the decimal to the first, right behind the first non-zero number, which is 5. So look, you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We moved it 5 times. So that now gives me a 5.7. Now, all these zeros are just placeholders at the moment, so we don't need to write all those if they're after the last number. And then this will be times 10. Well, y'all, we moved it left 5 times. So that exponent is a positive 5 since we moved left. So 570,000 is the same as 5.7 times 100,000, okay? All right, y'all, let's see what we got next. Well, okay, let me write this one. Let me turn this one over. All right, so y'all, this is one of our tricky ones here. So this one says the national debt was about, so national debt is 6.9 trillion at the end of 2003. Express this quantity as the number of dollars per person. So express as dollars per person. Now they're telling you the US population is 280 million. Okay, so they're giving us a population of the US. So we're starting with our 6.9 trillion. So 6.9 trillion. And that's for the US population. Okay. Now, we want to convert this into dollars per person. So we know that the US population here is equal to 280 million people. So look what's going to happen. The US population cancels, and we're with money per person. Okay. So let's multiply this thing out. Now, you sort of gotta know that trillions, so trillion would be 6.9 times 10 to the ninth. We're dividing that by 280 million. That'd be 280 times 10 to the 6th. So millions are 10 to the 6th. So I'll write that here for you. Whoops, hang on, I'm a little off here. I forgot my billions. Billions would be 10 to the ninth. So y'all, trillions, whoo, we're on up there. Trillions is 10 to the 12th. So make that a 12 there. Yeah, so there we go. So I just got to do this. Now you can write this in the calculator with all them digits if you want to, but we want y'all to realize that millions is 10 to the 6th, billions is 10 to the ninth, trillions is 10 to the 12th. So I'm going to take my 6.9 second comma, and that was to the 12th. Close that, divide by my bottom, which was 280. second comma, in millions we said was 6. All right, so this will give us our debt per person. And y'all let me see how we're rounding that off to the nearest cents. So 2 decimal places. So y'all, we get what, we'll make that 24642.86. We got to round the 5 up because it had that 7 after it. And then this would be dollars per person. So I guess we was each responsible for, around 25,000 of our debt, okay? All right, y'all, if I got time to do one more, and then I'll finish the rest of these on Wednesday with y'all and see what other questions y'all have. So this one says, write the number in ordinary notation. They're giving me 7 times 10 to the 4th. All righty, so you start with your 7. Since the exponent is positive, we would move that decimal right 4 spots, okay? So positive decimal, we move right 4 spots. So when you're going from scientific notation to ordinary, positive exponents move to the right. So, well, let me get more room here. So if I got my 7 and the decimals behind it, I need to move 4 times. So add a 0, that's once. Add a 0, that's twice. Add a 0, that's 3 times. Add another 0, that's 4. So y'all, the decimal's now at the end, and that ended up being 70,000. All righty, so let's see. So I'm after 4, so I'm gonna stop that right there. So y'all, I had a question on my chat, that was asking how would you upload the 5 questions I'm picking. So in Blackboard, let me go to which week it is. Hang on just a second. I believe, what's this, week 3? Okay. So what I would do, I'm gonna give you the 5 questions I need work on. What you're gonna do, you're gonna take a picture of it. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Is just take a picture of it and download that file. Now, where are you gonna put the work at? Y'all, let me show you. I'm gonna go to my Blackboard shell. All right, so I'm on the main page of Blackboard. Let me go back to the Start Here page. So since we're in week 3 and the test is week 3, come over here where it says homework lecture videos under your course materials. If you click on the homework lecture videos and then go to week 3. So it's got a review for the test 1 and then test 1 work shown. If you click on that, it'll let you come down here and create a submission. On that, you can actually tell me blah, blah, blah. But what you want to do is go to upload file and then browse your computer in whatever file you save that picture in, click that, and then come down here and click submit when you're done on the bottom right. So once you click submit down there, it will upload that file into Blackboard for me, okay? And then I'll actually give you the 5 questions next class that I need, okay? All right, y'all. So I think what I'll do also, I'm actually going to send y'all a file that's for I'm going to send a file for a conversion sheet for you so that you don't have to search everywhere for this stuff. So let me look at one thing real quick. Okay, yeah, so let me send y'all a file in a little bit. When I send this video, I'm going to send y'all a file also for the conversion sheets, okay? And that way you'll have all those conversions in one spot instead of having to search for them all. All right, y'all, so what we'll do next class, we'll finish this out for test 1, and then I'll go over any other questions y'all have pertaining to the first 3 weeks, okay? So give me about an hour, and I'll send you out the video and a file for the conversion sheet, okay? All right, y'all, hang on 1 second. Let me make sure I got all y'all here. Harper, Alicia, Harrington, Morgan, Flora. All right, y'all, I've got everybody. So, any questions? All right, y'all, so give me about an hour. I'll get these videos out to you. And I will see y'all Wednesday at 3. All right, y'all, have a good day.